Hi. Someone I know that I used to work with, her daughter, who well, I think she's under 2 years old, she's very young, was just diagnosed with autism. And it got me to thinking of ways not to react when that happens. I mean, as far as how others react. And if you're watching this and you actually aren't a parent of a child with autism, but you perhaps are watching it because someone, a friend or whatever, their child was diagnosed, or if you know someone who, later on has a child diagnosed, I can tell you some things not to do. um, Definitely, one thing, it can be very hard for people to come to terms with when they hear that their child has autism. Some people feel like it's like a death sentence. Of course, we realize it's not. But in a sense, in some ways it is. If we have certain expectations that aren't going to happen, we need to just put those away, and that's the death of them. But um, you know people will automatically, when they find out their friend's kid has it or whatever, well-meaning as they are, and they are, they're just trying to help because they don't know what else to do. They bombard a person with articles and cures and stuff, like right away. Like the person will say, okay, I just found out my kid has autism. It's like, oh, I know so and so's, and they had a gluten-free diet, or they this or they that. And the child, was fine after that, or whatever, right? Or here's another whatever cure. Um, Anyways, that can be really overwhelming, because it's overwhelming enough for people when they just found out their child has autism, that the last thing they need really is to be bombarded with all this information. They're going to be doing lots of research themselves, I can guarantee it. Um, but you got to give them some space and let it sink in and come to terms with it. Um, and those things, what works for one child may not work for another. I don't believe there's any one cure other than God can obviously bring healing in areas that are needed. But you know, a quick whatever, one thing is not necessarily going to work for everyone. Just like, say I take Tylenol, it works for my headache, but you take it, it doesn't help yours at all. It's the same kind of thing. All our bodies are different in the way they react to certain things. So, and I believe that autism is also caused in different ways. So it could also be the root cause, that is why certain things, like autism symptoms, could be caused by allergies to certain foods even, and that's actually proven that you can have a lot of symptoms of autism through food allergies. So if somebody were to change their diet and get rid of those things that the child was allergic to, of course the child's going to vastly improve if that was the root cause to those autistic symptoms. So anyway, but another thing that you don't want to do is when someone tells you their child has been diagnosed with autism, you don't want to be like, oh, I'm sorry. You are sorry, but I mean, just having that reaction of like they've just told you their child's dying, they're terminally ill or something. I know for me, at least personally, maybe some of you it doesn't bother you, but I know for me, I still get that reaction from some people, and it doesn't make me angry or anything, not at all. It's just I'm thinking, why are you feeling sorry for me? My son is just amazing. I mean, he's so sweet, and anyone who meets him, I don't know how they could think he was like, just, oh, poor you. Yes, there's some difficult things about him, but there's some things that are easier about him too. Like, he's not, succumbing to peer pressure. That, yes, 6-year-olds do succumb to peer pressure in the sense if they see, like, okay, all the kids in the neighborhood are beginning to like not have training wheels and stuff. There's been at least 2 in the past 3 weeks or so that got off the training wheels. But most kids my son's age would be like seeing that, and they'd feel like they had to do it. Not my son. He could care less. He'd still go around and he won't. Either he won't do the 2 wheels yet. So he doesn't succumb to that peer pressure. Really, honestly, that is good in so many ways. It really is. Unless you want him to do something, it can be challenging, but still, it really is a blessing. So anyway, so the best thing, you can do is definitely to pray for the person. That is the very, very best thing. Pray for the person, pray for the child, pray for the family, and anyone else that deals with them, and just for God to direct them in what they're to do next, um, and to give them strength and hope, of course, that they'd always keep their hope, but also just be a friend, and let them know you're there, like, just be a friend like you've always been. And of course, where most of us that are parents with children with autism, we can kind of, what we need to share with them is our successes. We need to share positive things. Don't dump a bunch of negativity on them because, like, oh, my child this, that. No, share the positive. Okay, they're going to read enough stuff on the internet that's going to probably discourage them. Okay, so encourage them, and let them know, you can do this. You're going to be, like this person, it was easy for me to say that I know she can do this because she's very feisty, and she's not a Christian, but she has a personality that's a very strong personality that she will fight for her child. So, and she's living in the same province here as I am. So, anyway, so I'm sure in that sense, apart from Christ, that she has the right personality to fight for her child and to do, strong enough to get through this, So anyway, I just wanted to share that, especially for those who don't have children with autism, and because it's so common now, it's so prevalent now. I'm sure there will be lots of people in the course of time that have a child diagnosed with it, or a grandchild, or a nephew, or whatever, right? So anyway, I just want to share that, and yeah, that's about it. But yeah, prayer is key. Really, they need prayer above all else. We all need prayer. So anyway, God bless. Have a great day.